Hey everybody, Jonathan here with another Twinmotion video, but today we're also going to be looking at the new Datasmith direct link from Vectorworks just to see how that's working with Twinmotion 2023. I'll also be looking at things like path tracing, the new interface, and a whole lot more. So if you're a Twinmotion user or a Vectorworks user, this video is for you for sure. Enjoy the video everybody, and do remember to like and subscribe, it really helps the channel. But thanks for watching, and I'll see you soon. And just so you know, there's been a little hotfix update already to the new preview version of 2023. There was a few people having some rendering problems and a few other issues, so that's been fixed now. If you do want to find out about that, you can just basically go onto the Twinmotion sort of news and events. And here now we've actually got the final release notes. These weren't actually available until quite recently. So basically you can run through and see what's new. You can also see that we've now got some sort of other sort of options for ArchiCAD, SketchUp 2022 and so on. Now if you scroll down a bit, you'll notice all the big new features that have been sort of shown in some of my other videos here, like the new interface and things like this. So definitely worth a little read through these new features. We've got things like the new path tracer. And I'll just really highlight a couple of really exciting things that I'm looking to trying out on this video. The new decals, maybe the height fog, and improved atmospheric rendering and sort of light scattering. Now I don't have a multi-GPU, but if that's something that you can support with your computer, definitely worth trying the SLI technology from NVIDIA. What you can see is there's an absolute ton of new features, so I'll be running through some of these in this new video, as well as showing you how to use it with Vectorworks. So, okay, let's just hop into the new video. So let's go for it and let's launch Twinmotion. So you can see right out the box, we've got a really nice new kind of loading screen. And here we are with basically the new home screen that pops up when you first load Twinmotion. Now, I've tried out a couple of these templates previously in a few other videos, but I'm actually going to go for this one, the day and night skies. This is the very first time I've actually tried this one out. So let's maximize our drawing here. Now, of course, I do need a project to import before I really get too excited. So I'm going to go over to my favorite CAD software, as you know, Vectorworks. I'm just going to export a project which I did a few years ago for a nice eco home. It's a really interesting little project, and if I actually turn the site and everything on, you'll understand how this kind of sat in its context. But what I'm going to do is just export the building on its own just for a second. So I'm going to go for File, Export, and basically I can either go for the three formats. The Cinema 4D export I find works extremely reliable. You've also got the Datasmith direct link, as well as the export standalone Datasmith file as well. Let's try the new sort of Datasmith link. So that's basically this option here, which I've added to my workspace, but you would normally find that down here on this palette at the bottom. Okay, so all you do, you click on the Datasmith direct link, go up to the settings, choose your level of quality. Now I would advise if you've got curves, you really want to be on medium or high settings for this. Let's click high. And basically all we need to do is click the direct link start button. Now that'll be enough to start exporting the Datasmith file. Depending on the file size, you'll notice it will take a few seconds to export initially. And then in a moment, we'll be able to hop over to Twinmotion and link that project directly in to our software. Okay, so here we are in Twinmotion. I'm just going to pop up the import tab here. Let's click onto the import button. And you'll notice that as well as importing the standalone files that you can select, as I say, I often do Cinema 4D, which I find really reliable. I really want to kind of try out the new direct link with Vectorworks and see how this plays out as well. Now you can actually collapse by material. I'm going to go for that. It depends though, if you do want to actually keep the hierarchy, maybe that's a better option if you want to like open doors and sort of change the model once it's in Twinmotion as well. There's a couple of new options here. I'm not exactly sure what these do, but I do know there's a very nice new light setting. So I'm going to kind of bring that in and set those default intensities to 300 and see what happens. Okay, so let's go ahead. Let's click import. Now the direct link is now processing. So the nice thing is with the new interface on Twinmotion, the building should land right in the middle of the scene, as you can see. So that looks really cool. Now, Do bear in mind the building itself on this particular project was actually shrunk down into the ground a little bit. So what I'm going to do is just pop up my XYZ panel, click onto the entire project, and I might just actually raise it up a little bit. Let's try 1 meter. Just because, yeah, that's right, I do remember it was actually kind of down in the ground. So if I just drop it down a tiny bit there, just so it's just sort of sat onto the ground there. Okay, looking interesting. So without really doing anything else, let's just kind of get into this and basically start to prop out our project with some trees. So as we've seen before, we can select a bunch of trees and we can kind of drag these in individually to the project. Or if we really want to speed up this process, we can go to populate and go to foliage paint, and basically we can drag in. Now I do wish you could drag in more than one tree at a time. That would be quite a nice little feature. It looks like we have to kind of drag these in one at a time. Now I'm not really thinking too much about exactly what kind of trees we're using just at this stage. What I'm going to do though is go up, get my brush, click, and watch how quick this will be. So basically really nicely I can kind of create a nice sort of forested backdrop to my project here. And there we go, so that's fantastic. Okay, so we've already kind of done a couple of things here. I'm intrigued to see what would happen if I basically drag in some new materials. So let's go for that as well. So drop down, let's go to ground, nature, and let's just drag in some grass. Okay, that immediately looks really nice. Now, one of the big differences now is that when you actually see the grass, you basically can open up all of these areas of the project and basically adjust them all in one go. So what we'll do is we'll pop our statistics panel down. You can just see that it's really quite feasible for me to kind of make some big adjustments to these, and you can sort of reset them back to where they were before. So let's just drop that sort of down a bit, kind of fade that out. Let's get a bit of grunge into that grass. Yeah, it looks really cool. If I do want to, I can obviously just drag down a new one and just sort of try that as well. Okay, looking good. So I really like the new properties panel. And just to make the point, if you do want to pop that out so you've got a bit more space, you can actually kind of see everything in one place. So it just makes it a lot easier. The other benefit of having a slightly smaller viewport is that when you actually pop the statistics panel open, you'll notice you're going to get even better frame rate as well as you move around the project. Okay, so hopefully those of you who've seen Twinmotion have seen this kind of panel before. This is where you can adjust all the kind of shortcuts and so on. But I'm going to basically just hide that panel for now. So without really doing anything else, I'm basically going to go down to my media dock after my materials and basically have a look at some of these kind of set backgrounds. So you'll see there's some really nice new options here for different backgrounds. Okay, the only thing is the view was a little bit not quite what I was after. Okay, so what I will need to do is just basically update those each time. Let's click on to say this one. Oh wow, that looks really nice. It's kind of a bit wet, but nice sort of skies and sunsets. I really like that view. That's definitely a nice one. Okay, so that's a really nice view. Let's go ahead and just update our image there. What about if we try a night shot? That's interesting. So let's kind of go through and sort of swing round. Oh yeah, definitely a bit of a different vibe, sort of more of a sort of cityscape vibe. So let's click and update that one. You can see we've just got a really nice range of these sort of preset images. Let's go for this sunset one. So again, once again, just adjusting that view, and yeah, that looks really nice. You know what I'm going to do though on this one? Let me just adjust that view a little bit here. Okay, let's click onto the update. And now let's actually go through, find the image itself, and basically, as well as changing to 4K, but if I go to the environment, I'll be able to basically click on my HDR environment there, just sort of brighten it up a bit, and more importantly, just rotate that round, just so I'm getting that nice bit of light coming into the project. I think that looks really nice. Okay, so here we go. We've got 3 images. Let me just rearrange these. That's my first one that I've updated. I think that was my second one I updated. There we go. And which other one was it I did? I think it was this one. So let's start with the daytime one. That was the daytime one. Let's go up a bit higher just so you can compare them. And let's just click refresh. Here's the sort of really nice HDRI with the kind of sunset sky. But again, it's quite easy. If I just want to adjust that in real time. Oh, lovely. Really nice lighting, isn't it? As you kind of scroll through. That's really nice. Okay, I'm pretty happy with that. Let's just click update and let's go through this one. Maybe swap that light round so it's kind of coming in a bit behind. Yeah, that looks really cool. While I'm here though, tell you what, let's get a little bit of rain in there to get a bit more reflectivity. And I will also, I think I probably just need to brighten it a little bit. Excellent. Good, so I've got these 3 lovely images done in a few moments using the new sort of template, if you like. And basically, I think that really speeds up this lovely process. So let's go ahead and sort of start to have a look at how these might look with the path tracing. So if I click R, basically that will start the path tracing, but you can see that I can easily just drop down to maybe low or medium settings. And I've shown you this before in previous videos, but this is basically where I can almost work in real time. So let's do this one and click R. Get that path tracing going. You should see a really nice quality of rendering once that path tracing refines. Again, it seems to default back to low, so let's try medium settings this time. Oh yeah, looking nice. So I'll tell you what, we'll pop that panel back while this is rendering, get a slightly bigger viewport, and just let that refine. We're nearly at the final, and you'll notice it will kind of tidy up the sort of noise once it gets to the end. Oh, that's a gorgeous image. Okay, and then finally, let's see how this one plays out with the path tracing. So click R for path tracing. Again, it's going to be probably defaulting to high quality at the moment. Normally in a viewport, I can just go to medium settings. So let's see how that one looks. Ah, I love watching the path tracing. It's a very sort of enjoyable process to watch. And then when it gets that final little bit and does that final kind of cleaning up of the image, it looks absolutely stunning. So, okay, time to save my file. So let's go for it. So now I've saved this file. I did actually mean to do a save as, but don't worry, I've got that as my template now, so that's interesting. Well, what's really cool is if I do want to go back into Vectorworks, and now I've noticed that, for example, the garage here is a little bit high. If I want to sort of make some adjustments or anything, I can do. Okay, so here we are back in Vectorworks, and you can see the entire project sort of here at the moment. So what I'm going to now do is just do one thing. I'm going to get my visibility tool and turn the trees off, just because we can kind of bring those in Twinmotion. I'm going to go ahead and get my Unreal Datasmith and just basically click the direct link to re-update essentially the Datasmith file. So we're just going to let that chug through for a second while it does the updating. And all of that new geometry should now land in Twinmotion. As you can see, we've got this new sunken landscape. So what I might need to do here is drop the actual Twinmotion landscape, but that shouldn't be a problem. And you can see how those steps work there. So by the time I click back to Twinmotion, 1 second or two and it will kind of start doing the update. Just give it a second to actually do the sort of direct link. I think it needed to stop the path tracing by the look of things. Okay, there we go. So there's the new geometry coming into the project, which looks really nice. And tell you what we'll do is we'll quit media mode just for a minute, just so we can kind of get back into what I call real-time mode and have a little look around the project. Okay, so now we've got a much more sort of realistic representation of our actual project as well. So with a bit more work, you could see it'd be quite feasible for me to actually basically start to build all these kind of hedges and stuff like that as well. Let's actually shrink that one down a bit and hold shift down and drag off, let's say 20 copies. That should make a nice little kind of hedge along that side there. Just rotate that around a bit. So all of this kind of work is able to be done in real time. But what's really, really nice is my Vectorworks model is, you know, sort of native as well. So I'm just going to go into my glass, select my glass and sort of put some more clear glass in there. Now you can actually see into the building a bit more, which is good. So of course, one of the really other lovely aspects of Twinmotion is this fantastic sort of library of things like trees and plants, which you're going to be able to kind of drag into your project just to kind of really enhance it super rapidly and basically start bringing it to life in real time. This is one of the aspects of this software that I absolutely love. You know, in terms of sort of high quality assets, you've just got a large amount of these. So just bring a few more of these into the model. I think that's okay. Just going to prop it out a little bit more. Yep, it's looking good. Let's go back and we'll also, let's just tweak that material a bit. So let's go there, and I think I want to kind of make that a little bit more grungy. And also just find my roughness, get that shininess up a little bit as well, and metallicness. Yep, that's looking good. There's loads of different settings that you can go into in here. You can tell it to be affected by weather and things like that, or not in that case. But basically, when you're ready, again, you can just click R for the path tracing. Start to look at how that image actually looks with the full sort of ray tracing capabilities. Let's once again set that down to low level, which is my favourite sort of setting to work in. Let's go through and get some external tables. We'll just kind of pop this scene and prop it out a little bit more, just sort of bring it to life. Okay, so we're just going to finish off this image just by adding a bit more life. Just going to drag in a few of the sort of animated people groups into the project here. Just going to bring it to life a little bit more. Perhaps there's a little party going on the scene. So you can see I can kind of walk around in real time and sort of experience how this project might be. And all of this, you know, from my Vectorworks model, I've got some really nice sort of very rapidly created sort of images that I can review with lots of different kind of lighting styles. All of these can be adjusted as required. And when I'm ready, I can render all of those out. So without further ado, let's go ahead and render these images out. So basically what we're going to do is go to the Export tab. Basically, I'm going to go up to my image and I'm simply going to select these 5 images, which are the ones that I've been sort of playing around with for this short video. That's cool. I'm going to go for JPEG, and if I do want to, I can kind of set up some different requirements on those as well. Other than that though, I'm just going to go ahead and just export these into a new folder. So let's go for it. Let's render these out. So what we'll do at the end of the video, we'll come back and review these very, very draft but early stage images. But it's really just to show you how quickly you can go from both Vectorworks to Twinmotion and what that kind of will result in. Well everybody, I really do hope you're enjoying this video. Now, I don't know whether you know, but I've written a book on Twinmotion, and although it's a year or so old, it's still very relevant into how you learn Twinmotion, and it really breaks down all the processes and the things that you need to do. So even with the new interface version, it's definitely something I recommend to help you on your Twinmotion learning journey. So if you're new around here, just pop onto the store at Real Time Rendering or Jonathan Reeves CAD, and there it is. It's an absolute bargain, and you will learn about some of the most amazing artists that use Twinmotion from all over the world via the case studies that are featured there. So let's get back to the video. So just to report back on the images, they're all finished and rendered, and basically you can see in my statistics panel they were only really taking about 6 or 7 seconds each to render a 4K image with path tracing. So I think one of the amazing things with Twinmotion is this speed of rendering. It'd be really nice just to kind of have a quick look inside the building as well. Let's just kind of set up at least one view in here. Yeah, that's looking good already. Let's just click Create Plus. And what we'll do, I think we'll kind of swing round and do another kind of view. Let's click R for Ray Trace. There we go. Look at that, with the path tracing completed. The image looks absolutely fantastic. So that's what a final little one that I'll add into my export. So I hope you've enjoyed this little video on the live link between Vectorworks and Twinmotion. It's definitely something that I'll be looking to develop as I kind of go forward with my project, and it's something I'll be making more videos on. So if you're new around here, thanks for subscribing, and I look forward to seeing you soon. Thanks for watching everybody. Bye bye.